Right, an extra £1 billion is set to be spent by the government to help insulate the UK's least energy-efficient homes in a drive to lower bills.
Meanwhile, households in Northern Ireland are still yet to receive any support to help with rising energy costs. When pressed on this last week, this is what the Work and Pensions Secretary Mel Stride had to say.
OK, just hang on one second, because it's quite important. And here it is.
This isn't a DWP issue, and I'm the Secretary of State for the Department of Work and Pensions. I guess that's probably a question you need to bottom out in more detail with the Business Department.
Right, well, we'll bottom it out right now with Business Secretary Grant Shapps. Very good morning to you, Mr Shapps. Obviously, you want to talk about the £1 billion scheme to insulate middle-income homes. Very important. But what do you say to the people of Northern Ireland? They haven't received a penny yet.
Yeah, no, that's not right, actually. I just wanted to correct it straight off the bat. The energy price guarantee, that's the billions of pounds that's being spent
sorry, I beg your pardon. We're talking about the £400,
yes,
which every household was eligible for.
Yes.
And Northern Ireland bill payers have not received a penny of that yet. True?
Yes, that is true.
Right.
Why not? I just want to... Yeah, so just let me clarify that. So in Northern Ireland, there's a different process, there's a different setup in the energy market. Normally would be handled by its own devolved administration. As you know, there isn't a government in place in Northern Ireland. What we're having to do is find ways of working around what is quite a complex energy situation in Northern Ireland. However, and that is the £400, and we will make sure it gets to people this winter.
Why is it taking so long? We had Sarah texted us a little bit earlier to say she's been told January or February. Surely there is a mechanism to get it in place right now when the temperatures are dropping and people are having to choose whether to freeze or starve, she says.
So, first of all, as I say, there isn't a mechanism in the same way, partly administrative to do with the government situation there, but also because the energy market's set up in a completely different way in Northern Ireland. In the UK, we've been able to pay that money back through people's energy bills. That, for a whole range of technical reasons, hasn't been possible in Northern Ireland, but we are working through the system to be able to resolve that. However, in the meantime, people are getting the energy price guarantee. This is a much bigger sum of money.
Yes, I understand that, Mr Shapps, but people's energy bills have gone up. They are double what they were this time last year, even with the energy price guarantee in place. And I'm not sure how what you said this morning helps, for instance, Scarlett. I live in Northern Ireland, haven't seen a penny of help to heat my home. I have 4 children, which means heating my home is a necessity. However, without the help, it feels like a luxury, having to put on extra clothing to go to bed. This shouldn't be happening in 2022.
No, so just notwithstanding the fact that there is help, it's coming through the energy bill itself. In other words, your energy isn't as high as it would be without the billions of pounds.
The price it was last year, and she hasn't received any of the £400, which is going to the rest of Great Britain. That's
right, but she will, and everybody in Northern Ireland will. As I say, the simple reason is that whereas in the UK we've been able to pay that back through people's combined energy bills.
The reason, what they want to know is when they're getting the money.
Can we ask you, Mr Shapps, about what's happening in England then? Because the Northern Ireland thing is separate. In England, we've now had the DWP Secretary of State, Mr Stride, on twice. Both times he said, it's not my problem, it's the problem of the business department. We've still got people, around a third of people have not actually managed to get their money. Sue emailed us this morning. We are still waiting for our fuel vouchers for a prepaid meter. We're with SSE. I tried phoning them, told to use a chat line, but there were 193 in the queue. My husband has a heart condition, feels the cold dreadfully. I'm not sleeping because I'm worrying about keeping him warm. Why is it, after all these weeks, so many people in England, Scotland and Wales are not getting their vouchers and the help they need? Because these are the most vulnerable consumers, people on prepaid meters.
Yeah, absolutely. Can I just, if you just give me a second, let me just set out. First of all, 97% of people, the vast majority of people who are not on prepayment meters. 97% of those people have received their money back. The second thing to say, let me just answer this in full, is where people are on prepayment, they do have to get that through their energy provider. Where you have cases like that, I would certainly want to know about them. So with that case that you just cited, I certainly want to know about them, because I will battle for them with their energy provider, whether that's SSE or anybody else. There is no excuse, because the government has provided the money to those.
Have you had a meeting with the energy providers on this issue? Have you had a meeting with people about this?
I've met with SSE, and if there are still people who don't have those vouchers through, then it's very, very important that those energy companies are providing it. Because
when you ask the energy providers, what do they say?
Yeah, so I mean, they say they're doing everything they can to provide them. But since you're pointing this out, I just want to make 2 points. One, I will undertake to meet with those energy providers again and be absolutely insistent, since we are giving them the money, that that money is paid out. And secondly, can I just, for the benefit of all of your viewers, say one thing? Unless you are on a prepayment meter, you are not waiting for vouchers. So please don't get involved in any scams or anything else where people are saying, this is a voucher, you need to give us some information of your own to get it. For everyone else, this is automatically looked after through your energy bill.
And so for the people on prepaid meters,
there isn't a voucher.
On the people on prepaid meters, can you promise to have the meeting this week? And will you come back on our programme next Monday or Tuesday and tell us what the outcome was? Because people can't wait for weeks and weeks and weeks. It's going to be cold this week, and people are not using their heating because they're worried that they can't pay the bills and they're not getting the vouchers.
I'll tell you what I'll do, Ed, because I know that for people who are not on prepayments, 97% of people have been paid through the energy bill itself, so it actually happens automatically. For people who are on prepayments, I don't have any data that reflects the 1/3 figure you mentioned right at the beginning at all, so I'll be looking straight into that. I'll also be making sure that we put maximum pressure on the energy companies.
Can you meet them this week?
It isn't fair or right, because money has been set aside and made available for that money for those vouchers to go to prepayment.
Can you meet them this week and tell us where we are next Monday?
Yeah, I'll be very pleased to come back and fill you in for sure, yeah.
OK, well, we're going to keep on this because, of course, we are getting comments and complaints every morning about it. If somebody still hasn't received this part of the energy support, what do you recommend they do? Because they're tearing their hair out.
Yes, well, you've said about people trying to contact their energy companies. I'm very concerned if they're finding they can't get through, because the first thing that they should be doing, and are trying clearly, is to get onto whether it's SSE or anybody else and get hold of those vouchers. But again, I want to stress, this is only where you're prepaid. Do not get involved in any scams. For anybody else who is receiving their electricity, perhaps pay on direct debit, it's all automatic. So
Mr. Shapps, this is Michael via email. I'm with British Gas. I still haven't received my first voucher. I've been in contact with British Gas since the end of October. I've had answers such as be with you within 48 hours, 72 hours, 5 to 7 working days, 70-day working days, a note to the back office to send them out. The latest one is that the vouchers have gone to DWP to send them out. I've contacted DWP. They've been told it's nothing to do with them. Head and brick wall come to mind. What do I do? I mean, people are in despair.
Yes. Again, just to stress, assuming that person is not on is on prepayment rather than any other form. One thing you could do actually is to help me by making sure that my office get that email so I can look into it for them. Because if there's something systemic going on, I need to know about it. As I say, the overall figures are 97% of the payments are happening. That's because it's automated.
What's the email, Shapps?
You can email me directly, but I think it's probably best if your programme and my office get hold of that email in order to check it out. But big suppliers, British Gas, SSE, these organisations must respond.
Okay.
We are providing money.
We did read all these emails out to Mel Stride a month ago, and he promised to be in touch with you within 24 hours to tell you about this problem so you could get on the case. And so I do think we need to get on with this.
Please send those over to me. As I say, I'll undertake to work with the energy providers.
This week?
We are providing the cash.
So
you can imagine I'm very unhappy about that money not getting to consumers.
All right. We will pass all of those emails on. There's a warning. There's a lot of them. Grant Shapps, thanks very much indeed for joining us this morning.
Thank you.